I'm El Natali, and this is the Astro Mosaics podcast. Today we're talking about Pluto and the age of Aquarius, but in this case, it's the age of waking sleep. On June 5th, 2023, a few days before Pluto entered back into Capricorn for the last time, the tech giant Apple introduced their new invention. It's called the Apple Vision Pro. They call this a revolutionary spatial computer that seamlessly is going to blend digital content with the physical reality, with the real world. And it's allowing users to stay present and connected to others. Basically, it's a VR headset that is on Apple steroids. I mean, it's bizarre. It's everything in 3 dimensions. It's controlled by the user's eyes, hands, and voice. So I want to know, have you seen this thing? If you have, what do you think about this new invention? People are saying that this Vision Pro, Apple Vision Pro, is the next big thing. It's going to change our world. Eventually, it's going to be removing the need for laptops, computers on the desk, smartphones, televisions, or eye contact with anything other than the computer attached to your head. At the launch of the Apple Vision Pro, Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, he said,
"So in the same way that Mac introduced us to personal computing and iPhone introduced us to mobile computing, Apple Vision Pro will introduce us to spatial computing."
That's pretty far out, huh? Spatial computing. The question that we should ask is, what problem is this new headset solving for people? So according to that slick Apple Vision Pro website, here's what we've got. They say, 1, it seamlessly blends digital content with your physical space. Basically, it removes reality. 2, you can use your hands, your voice, and your eyes so you can do things you love in ways never before possible. And this is important to note that they track your eye movement so they can understand when you pay attention or when you lose attention to advertisements, and they're going to sell that data to advertisers, obviously. 3, a new immersive way to experience entertainment. To me, it looks like there's people by themselves everywhere. They're alone. They're trying to connect, but they're separate. They're separating this shared experience. I mean, what's better than watching a movie on the couch with a loved one? I mean, why? Number 4, be in the moment all over again with videos and photos using Apple's first 3D camera. Okay, that's an oxymoron straight up, right? You can't be in the moment again because the moment has passed. You're in a new moment, reliving something that's not reality anymore. It's gone. Okay, just so that's clear, Apple. You can't relive a moment. So what problem is it solving? I don't know. Maybe it makes life more convenient. I guess you don't need a desk anymore. So I don't know. The pursuit of convenience and desire is something really powerful. Easy living is one of the greatest desires humans have. And this makes the headset very tempting. But we need to remember that that is all an illusion. Humans don't want difficulties. We need difficulties. We need real challenges in order to advance and evolve in our lifetimes. That means we're interacting with more than just an interface on our heads. So to me, the headset feels like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's presented as a solution, but for what? To have more fun? Like, life's already pretty good. I mean, why do we, I don't know. I think it'll actually be a harbinger for deep human suffering. I think it's just going to make the experience that we have on our phones multiplied. Man and machine are getting closer to integration, though. Let's face it. This is what Ray Kurzweil called the singularity in his book, The Singularity is Near. So I bought that book way back in 2005, and I never finished it. The concept scared me even back then. And look where we are now. We're right at the precipice. Ray Kurzweil is also the director of Google Engineering, and he's a really well-known futurist. He's like really good at predicting and getting the accurate predictions happening. So he believes in 2029, that's when he predicts the first AI will pass a valid Turing test. That means that it will have achieved human levels of intelligence. And the Turing test basically is a test that you take a human, have it communicate with a machine, and the human will be 100% confident they're speaking to another human, but they're not. They're speaking to a machine. So 2029 for that. And the year 2045 is when he predicts the singularity will have occurred and will be part of life.
We'll be able to multiply our intelligence many millions fold. And it's just very hard to imagine what that will be like.
And that's the singularity where we can't even imagine
Right. That's why we call it the singularity. The singularity in physics, something gets sucked into its singularity and you can't tell what's going on in there because no information can get out of it.
Pluto in Aquarius period is March 2023 to March 2043. So this 20-year period is the potential path for the singularity and humanity to become one, for the singularity to happen. And if this is the case, that's a big deal, man. This is huge. We're standing on the ledge. We're like Wile E. Coyote, right? On the ledge of a massive precipice and massive change of what it's going to be, what does it even mean to be human or to be a machine? And the Vision Apple Pro will, in retrospect, most likely be that first clunky little step towards the singularity.
This marks the beginning of a journey that will bring a new dimension to powerful personal technology.
It's a path to cybernetic society, where by 2030s, Kurzweil says we will connect our neocortex, the part of our brain where we do our thinking, to the cloud. Now, I don't know about you, but my computer is a computer. It's an Apple computer. It's really ridiculous because my Apple, whatever the thing is, the Apple cloud is filled up. Even though I don't give a crap, I cannot turn it off. It tells me that it's full and that I can upgrade and I can pay for more storage. And I don't want it, and I can't turn it off on my computer. Imagine if that's your brain. You want more storage. You need to pay for more storage. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's no. Since the comparatively innocuous smartphone took over our global human experience in 2007,
every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything.
there's been a really huge increase in unhappiness, depression, anxiety, mental health deterioration, suicide, especially amongst children. It's ridiculously bad, and it's all correlated with the uprising and the prevalence of smartphones. If we're to believe in evolution, then I suppose we must account for the fact that it is ever changing. It's going somewhere further than what we already are at. It's infinitely going somewhere until it reaches a finite point, an end point, or an extinction. So this technological revolution is part of human evolution, and it's going at light speed. That's the issue. I mean, we still have a pinky toe, which is physiologically useless. We have no need for the pinky toe, and it would take millions of years of human evolution to evolve away from humans having a pinky toe. And yet, in 20 years, we're going to merge with machines. It's bizarre. The problem for me here with this whole situation is the Plutonic layer, that this is a level of technological evolution that's fueled by materialism and a desire to have power over other people. It's not altruism. It's not a desire to increase human connections, even though they're playing like it is. It's not. It's a separation, a further separation. How are we to resist this collective tidal wave of technology? And should we even resist it if it's part of human evolution? These are Age of Aquarius questions that we need to be asking. And speaking of the Age of Aquarius, you remember that song. You know the one from the turbulent countercultural 1968 musical Hair. Here are the lyrics in case you don't know them. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions, golden living dreams of visions, mystic crystal revelation, and the mind's true liberation. Aquarius. 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 Is this the ideal vision that we're going to get to if we walk blindly into the immersive headset life? I don't know. Maybe. My guess is no. The second question, is resistance even possible? In the last 15 years since the iPhone was introduced worldwide, there are approximately 6.84 billion smartphones in the world. And to put that into perspective, that figure accounts for 85% of the 8 billion global population on Earth. It's a lot of smartphones. Like, everybody has one. There's this YouTube channel called Mr. Beast Philanthropy, and he just released a video about helping people on a small island off Brazil get consistent internet. That was part of what he was doing there, amongst other things. And the thing that struck me about it was that most of the people on this island that were native to that island appeared to not have very much by way of material comforts. It looks pretty rough. But even the children, all of them had smartphones, even though they didn't have hardly any internet. So that's telling, right? Humanity has gone into a collective experience of waking sleep, and it's going to be even deeper than ever before if we go into this headset version of augmented reality. What is waking sleep? Waking sleep is the state where people spend most of their waking hours being identified or lost within whatever is happening, by being completely identified with their activities or their emotional state. So to prove this point, all you have to do is look around. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's not a surprise. If you're waiting for your car to get serviced, everybody in the lobby is going to be on their phone. At a restaurant, you'll see people on their phones. Yeah, guarantee if you're at a stoplight, look to your left or right. Person's probably looking at their phone. Even at Disneyland, I see consistently there are children being pushed around in strollers looking at iPads at Disneyland. It's like, why? They're sleepwalking already. They're being trained early to be sleepwalking through life. Last week, one day, I left my phone at home. So I went to my job and I didn't have my phone. I had no Spotify to listen to music in the car, no ability to check email, no connecting to my family through texts. And even on my short lunch break, I usually watch like a YouTube video, but I couldn't even do that. So at first it was really strange. I was sitting there in my car and I was emancipated from these anchors, from these time thieves that I don't even realize I am just sleepwalking a lot of the time through my life. And I'd like to tell you, when I got home, I stepped on my phone. I cracked it. I threw it away. I canceled my phone service, but I didn't. Of course I didn't. I went back to my old ways. I mean, slightly modified. I don't do it as much. I'm trying more to not be sleepwalking in my life. And it's disappointing that I still remember my phone. Like, I won't forget it. But when I do, it's actually quite lovely. So the next question is, why is plain life not satisfying enough? I mean, it's a freaking miracle that we're alive. Everything's a miracle. But why is it so hard to be in the moment, in the now, as it's actually unfolding? Now, back in the 1950s, writer and speaker Alan Watts said this. Remember, keep in mind, 1950s. Now is never satisfactory because we are never really living in it. We get more and more avid to go ahead and pursue the future. We develop our technology to a fantastic ability where we can more and more fulfill our desires for the future almost immediately, working towards a sort of push-button world. But have you ever stopped to think what the world would be like if you could fulfill every wish the moment you wished it? Suppose, for example, on going to bed at night, you could dream whatever you wanted to dream. What would happen after a while? Of course, at first, I suppose you would dream fantastic pleasures, wonderful adventures, fulfillment of all the things you'd ever wished for. Then as time went on, don't you think you would want to be, a little bit surprised? Have a little bit less control over whatever is happening to you? And after you had experimented with this after some months or years, you might even want dreams in which you suffered, because there's no real delight, no real fulfillment without delay. Gotta wait for it, gotta work for it to mean something. But people want a naturally quick fix. We want to get what we want when we want it, and it's not good for us. It's a part of our evolution that doesn't serve us in the modern world. Alongside the pinky toe, they're both useless to us at this point. Our fulfillment desires make us really vulnerable to manipulation. We want this steady needle to the vein of Jupiter and Venus things. That's pleasure and abundance. It's good stuff, but we want it cheap if not free. And you get what you pay for, because phony Venus and Jupiter temptations are what we're getting with augmented reality. It's Pleasure Island. It's Pinocchio going to the island and turning into a donkey and then having to work in the salt mines, right? That's what we're going for here. It's not the actual existence of sensual Venus, of touching somebody or looking into someone's eyes or maybe listening to a concert. It's not abundant Jupiter, where you're experiencing the world, like you're going out into another place, into other people's realms and interacting with them. So what we get with this augmented reality, it's real pretty, but it's a shell with nothing inside. It's just a hollow facade. The reality lies in resistance. That's Mars. Mars is resistance. Mars says, be brave, sacrifice something, actually do something. And it's the discipline of Saturn that we also need in here. And Saturn says, stop wasting your life, work hard, master something. Resistance and diligence enhance our authentic pleasure. That's where we're going to get it. And it's on the other side of sacrifice. That's where it lives. Sometimes the most simple answers are the only ones we need. We have to watch our mindset. We need to watch reality. We need to overcome hardship, be kind to other people, have empathy, sacrifice something for the greater good, have compassion, have bravery. These are things that require something real from us. This might even be costly to us. It might really feel like it sucks at the time. But this is the age of Aquarius path that we need to go on. This is where we're going to get to that harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding, golden mystic crystal revelations, all the things. This is what we need rather than consumerism, comparison, too many bad choices, turning even relationships into something materialistic. This is making us dumb, it is making us sick, it is making us sad. So my advice is to try to stay awake and alive in the real world as much as possible. Seek discomfort. Do things that make you feel uncomfortable in a productive way. Do things that are hard and reach for inconvenient choices once in a while. Make the whole meal. Don't just, microwave some crap. Start from scratch. Make some bread. Be alive in the most real way possible, because those are the rewards that are also the most real that's possible. Well, there's nothing else I can say because I'm a little bit speechless, a little bit baffled at just thinking about this concept. So I'll just end it here and tell you that I like you the way you are, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.